this is some of the most meaningful work I've ever been involved in. Fundamentally, something about the work that we're doing to help people restore relationships it's like nothing I've ever been a part of before.
My husband's the type of person that likes to talk as soon as I turn music on the radio. Before taking the OCL class, I get super frustrated. I'm like, either we're listening to music or either you're gonna talk. I didn't realize that I was completely shutting my husband down from sharing any insight that he had at the time. I turned the music off and I listened to him, and he was just sharing so many things about what he was going through. And I just realized that if I would have stayed in my ways and not considered how he is as a person, I would have missed out on that very sweet moment of him sharing. It was a small change of my habits that produced so much fruit.
Too often we all want to have our story told, but we aren't always willing to hear the other person's story. So it's critical, I think, that we take the time to do a lot more listening, especially from a community perspective and law enforcement. We all have different perspectives. We have different life experiences, and it's important for us to be able to tell our story and have it be heard.
When you have people understanding and being able to communicate and resolve conflicts, be empathetic to others and what they're going through, I think it changes everything. I think you'd see the atmosphere change in the community.
Leadership isn't a destination. It is truly a journey. And the more that you can reflect and understand your strengths, and more importantly, what are your weaknesses? And where are your vulnerabilities as a leader? The stronger of a leader that you will be.
At every stage in your life, you're going to have to communicate in different ways. So whether you're communicating as a parent, or you're communicating as a boss, or you're communicating as a little kid on the playground with other kids, I feel like there's so much knowledge and information that is just all throughout the OCL curriculum that I think that if we were able to get it into classrooms and into churches and businesses all across this country, I think it would just really help a lot of our problems and a lot of the negative things that are going on in our world right now.
We thought that when you cared for somebody, you went over and talked to them. We find out when you care for somebody, you go over and listen to them with empathy. That is the greatest act of caring. What I hear is, I thought I was a good listener, but I had no idea how to listen.
We all just want to be happy. So I think if people were able to communicate properly, the world would be a much better place.
Connecting with what the person's feeling in the moment that they're feeling it, and really be able to see the world through their eyes, that is the power of listening.
If each individual would have access to this type of training, things would be much better in this planet, to be honest.
And then you think about conflicts that people have. Most of those conflicts get to poor communication. So if you can understand your own style, be a better listener, and have some skills to work through conflict, who wouldn't want to take that class?
I think that if I didn't take the class, that there would either be like a cold case files show about us in 10 years, or there would be an extreme amount of resentment.
I found that this training was specifically worthwhile just from the sense of learning so much more about myself than I've ever learned elsewhere.
And a lot of the breakdown I think we experience is because we come to the table together and you make your point, and if I disagree, I try to argue with you more eloquently. And then you argue more eloquently back at me. And nowhere in that are we actually making a connection. And OCL is teaching us how to make that connection.